Alrighty, so Magellda has come out, and obviously she is a Bird Boss unit because her passive legitimately only works in Bird Boss. So I wanted to mess around with her a little bit today and sort of showcase like how she works and how, you know, it looks to put her on the actual team itself, and maybe this will help you make a decision on whether or not you want to summon for her or not. Do take a little bit of it with a grain of salt. I honestly think that this unit is sort of like half done, if that makes sense. I think that she is going to need another unit to sort of pair off of to really make her good. I think that the Bird Boss is going to need another unit to throw on the team with Magellda to sort of like bring out her full potential. So if you don't know, she has an Amplify card that does pretty decent damage. Obviously, Amplify is 30% extra damage dealt per buff on self. And the reason why that is significant is because her passive is, you know, in Bird Boss, every time an ally's remaining HP is full, applies one effect on that hero, which increases all stats by 8% for 5 turns, stacking up to 5 times. And her other card is a heal card, which has Rejuvenate on it, which is additional recovery equal to 60% of HP recovered at the start of every turn. So she's basically going to be filling up her HP a lot, which means she should, in turn, get a lot of buffs. Her ultimate is a Power Strike card. On the forums, whenever they posted it, it said that it was an AoE ult for some reason, but it is in fact a solo, like, single target ult. Power Strike is obviously very, very good, especially on the last phase of the first floor, because Power Strike are basically the only cards that can even get damage done, unless you just have like a level 3 Margaret buff on. And yeah, currently, as far as gear goes, I'm legitimately just using a regular attack defense set, nothing super special. I really do want to give her UR gear, but I'm afraid that if I do, somebody's going to come out and be like, hey, you know, it's better to put, you know, crit chance on it, like Brunhild's gear, or they're going to say, you know, defense is not the way to go, you want to use attack crit damage. But because she's sort of in that weird like middle ground where she has an attack and a heal, and she's more or less used for her passive, which is very supporty and giving like buffs to the allies and stuff like that, I don't think that she's like in need necessarily of crit damage. But who knows? Maybe somebody will come up with some crazy gear set for her that will be very, very good. From my understanding specifically, I have heard that floor 1 is really hard to do with her because of the last phase, because she still can't hit the boss really. You're just going to have to rely on your Power Strike user. But she is pretty good, from my understanding, on floors 2 and 3. So we're going to do floor 1 first and sort of hop into it. I'm going to try to go through these as quickly as I can. And we're just going to do one and done. If we end up dying, like due to RNG, we're just going to call it, because I don't really want to, you know, have to film like 1,000 takes for these videos. But I think that she has a ton of potential. I'm assuming sometime in the future we're going to get a character from Ragnarok or something like that that's going to replace Margaret on the team, and I think that that will help a lot. So let's go ahead and waste some of these cards right here like I always do, and after he deals a little bit of damage to us, we can actually use the Magellda heal, so that way we can actually get some of her buffs going. So I think the biggest problem is that because she's unknown, which I think is kind of weird. I kind of wish they would have gave her, I don't know, she's a Valkyrie. I don't know what, if they would have made her like a fairy unit or something like that, it would have been chef's kiss, absolutely perfect, because you would have still been able to use Green Gother with her, because of you have a giant and a human on the team. But man, they really couldn't do it for us. So we have 2 Power Strike cards in hand. Let's go ahead and heal. That should help us a little bit. I'm going to try to save up these Margaret cards for phase 3, because the last time that I did this, I did not have Margaret cards in hand, or I did not have a good Margaret buff in hand when I got to the last phase, and it absolutely destroyed me. So, like, I was able to beat it, but I literally beat it with like very little HP left on all of my units. So Yeah, I do have the healing card set on, by the way, just in case you're wondering. So I am getting passive healing from that along with Matrona's passive, which should in turn help us quite a bit on filling our HP gauges back up, so that way we get more Magellda buffs. So we've already got a really decent amount of Power Strike cards. I'm tempted to merge these since we don't have Gowther for rank up, and I'll just go ahead and use a Magellda card. So hopefully that gives us another buff on her. I don't think that this is going to be like enough to kill by any means, but just checking out damage. There's no damage cap on phase 1 and 2 of the floor 1, so we're sort of just building up at the moment. I don't know. I've gotten so used to having Gowther on the team that it's kind of hard to break like habits of like having really high level cards like early on almost, but it is just kind of one of those things that you have to get used to and kind of deal with. So let's go for, I think if we use all 3 of these cards, we'll definitely push phase. Magellda might even, I don't know if she will or not. Magellda might push phase here. Yeah, actually I think she will. So we'll just waste the Margaret card. That's fine. 66k. So like you can kind of see we've already got 4 buffs on her. We don't have a Margaret buff on, which is obviously going to give us a couple extra buffs. But I don't know. I don't feel like she's like super damage dealer material, so that's why I'm kind of hesitant to give her like crit damage as well. But then again, it might sort of it might make a difference. Like it might make the difference that you would need to sort of see good results out of her, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of weird on the whole thing so far. Another nice thing is the fact that Brunhild's ult actually heals a bit, so that one actually did pretty decent damage. We almost killed that phase in 1 turn. That was actually kind of nice. The fact that Brunhild's ultimate actually heals a little bit is kind of nice, because if it tops us off, we're also going to proc Magellda's passive, so that's kind of cool. I don't have a taunt on what's her name, so we're not going to be able to get as much healing here. I think let's use that, and I'm tempted to just waste these, like waste the rest of the turn, because that'll kill. I maybe should have tried to get rid of some cards out of hand, but I think I'm okay at the moment. If I can pull 1 more Margaret card to get this to a level 3, that'll help cut down on a little bit of card space. Speak of the devil. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and pop both of these. He has the damage cap on at this point, so we're not going to be killing or anything by any means, but 95k, those weren't damage cap either, but then again we don't have like a ton of buffs on those 2 characters. I think another thing that's really hard to get used to is not having Gowther's passive on, because Gowther's passive sort of like ramps up over time and you just get a lot of extra damage out of it. So let's try to put up a taunt so that way we can actually start getting decent damage out here. Or not damage, but some decent healing if they single target on Matrona. Let's go ahead and pop these. So let's see damage on this. This is 4 buffs, 72k, not bad. Margaret without buffs is kind of wimpy sometimes. Pretty sure I have an attack crit damage set on her at the moment. Sometimes I run this with HP defense, or not HP, HP, yeah, it's HP defense, I think. Just her HP set, and she still does fine. Oh, he actually removed the taunt from her. That's actually kind of unfortunate there. I almost wish I could get another just regular buff card, so that way I could cleanse some of these debuffs off, to be honest. I think I'm just going to waste all of these cards to get them out of hand. If I can pull some more Power Strike cards, that would be fantastic. Alright. So I think Brunhild should clear us up here. Oh, so close. I guess that's fine. I almost want to pop this since it lasts for 3 turns, but you can see, like, I think the extra damage from having Gother on the team would have, like, we definitely would have been able to push phase there. Like, I don't know, there's just a couple of things that kind of, like, irk me a little bit about running this unit specifically. Let's go ahead and use this because I don't need it during the next phase. Let's use that. Just trying to get those cards out of hand because I know that I'm not really going to use them in phase 4. Boom. Because even if I ult with Matrona and stuff like that, it's not going to hit because she's only 1/6. I don't know that a higher level ult on Matrona would even do that well, but maybe. I'm honestly not too sure on that one. So I think we're going to try to stall a little bit, and we're going to use 1 card. Let's go ahead and put up a taunt on Matrona as well. So that way we can try to get some passive healing from her. The run that I did for this specifically this week was very interesting. We didn't hit damage cap on there, actually, which is kind of unfortunate. That was with a level 2 as well, so I'm really feeling the effects of not having Gother here. But I did my run for this specifically this week. I think it was on floor 2. On the very last phase, I only had Matrona and Margaret left and was able to beat it. It took me like 15 turns, but I was lucky enough to keep pulling Matrona. Matrona kept not dying, so she was healing a ton of her HP back, and then I was getting a ton of a ton of cleanse cards and stuff like that to like reduce damage taken and stuff like that from all right, if Matrona doesn't, or if Margaret doesn't hit here, then I was about to say I lose. Yeah, see, with Gother, I would already have probably beat this boss by now, or maybe not by now, but I would definitely be a lot lower on the HP bar for sure. So I definitely, not that she's bad so far, but the floor 1 is definitely really hard. Power Strike ult should help a bit. We're gonna have to use that, I guess, and we'll see how this goes. Boom. So that actually hit damage cap, which is nice. 34k damage on a level 1 there. The charge ignores defense, so that actually does hit through a bit. I'm not pulling any Magellda. I'm not pulling any Magellda heals as well, so that's actually kind of screwing me a bit here. Oh, she dies here. Yikes. So I actually lose out on that. Let's go ahead and pop a level 3. Since we have it, and then I'm gonna deal damage so that way I don't absolutely get destroyed here. We can't heal anymore because he's put the gray infect card on. See, that one hit damage cap, which is kind of weird. Why didn't I hit damage cap earlier in the phase? Oh, I think it's because his buff swapped over. So okay, I mean, I still end up beating this, but unfortunately it's just not quite there yet. I think we're just gonna have to sort of experiment around a little bit, try to find a team that works a little bit better. Obviously, like with the team that we already have, I of course didn't get any blue crystals, and I don't know what's up with this being broken at the moment, but last time I did it, it was like all it showed was the level 90s on the units, but there was no pictures or anything like that. I don't think that we're necessarily going to be able to use just like the same team that we've been using and just substituting a unit out on it, kind of like I did here. I think you're going to have to come up with maybe a newer sort of like team comp and try to experiment more. So I hate to leave it like this because honestly, like it feels unfulfilling, but I don't know. There's just not enough info yet. I don't think people are experimenting enough. I know that a lot of the JP players, as soon as she came out, were like, oh, like give it a couple of days, maybe people will find a decent team for her and everything like that. But I honestly do think that it's kind of just the case where she doesn't really have what she needs to be good on the team yet. So I don't know. Obviously, with them making her passive locked to only Bird Boss, maybe they'll do another one or another unit like that where they rank up cards or something like that, like Gother would, or they deal, or they do the same thing that Margaret does with damage reduction and stuff like that, or damage dealt as well for only her or only the Bird Boss and stuff, so that way you can actually run Magellda on the team and it actually work a little bit better. I don't know, she just needs some support or just an entirely new like team comp in general. But obviously there's a ton of global players, hopefully within the next couple of days, maybe a week or two, as people sort of summon for her, which I feel like JP has had such a hard time like showcasing the unit and actually getting good results out of it, that a lot of people are probably going to skip the banner. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't find a team for her for at least a little while. So yeah, I don't know, kind of a hard sell, to be honest. Like, I don't necessarily think that you should summon for the unit. I pretty much said that whenever I made the should you summon video. I think that if you really like Bird Boss and you want to try to mess around with new team comps and stuff like that, then she is a unit that works for Bird Boss. Like, she's literally designed for it. So I'm sure I'm sure the devs have some sort of team comp in mind that they want you to use Magellda for, but I just don't think we found it yet, or we're just waiting for another unit to come out to support her. Hopefully with the announcement of Festival King coming out tomorrow for me, but by the time you see this, I think Festival King will already be announced, if not already on the JP servers. Maybe he'll help. I don't know for sure. So I don't know. That's pretty much it from me. I don't want to keep rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on Magellda so far. I know that there was a decent amount of people from my channel that were watching the live stream that summoned for her. Let me know what kind of results you're getting out of her, because honestly I'm kind of curious, because she doesn't seem great, but I think there's potential. So that's it from me. See you guys in the next video.